ain't no disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA. Welcome back, everybody,
to another thrilling episode of
Oh La La in the Dungeon, Season 2.
Episode 23.
Today's episode might sound a little different. I wonder why. Oh, that's because Liz is in Italy, sadly for us. But not for her. She's with our good friend Amy. And where is she touring again?
Yeah, so she is in Italy and she is currently exploring the eating and drinking of Italy. So she is having some Aperol Spritz, limoncello, some fantastic wine, enjoying the scenery. And she's on the island of, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Ischia, which is west of Naples and south of Rome. And we're actually going to have a special message from Liz.
Right now.
So Liz, take it away.
Ciao from Italia. We're getting on the boat. Yeah, this is Oh La La representing in Italy. Ischia. Ciao. Ciao bella.
Wow, that was amazing.
All right, well, the show must go on. So let's talk about what we're going to be discussing today. We are interviewing a local Richmond actor and director who has worked with Ethan Hawke and several other big names. We'll be talking about Matthew Perry's controversial death involving ketamine and murder. Big Daddy will be dropping it on us. And what are we talking about this week?
This week we're going to be talking about some local distilleries and tasting rooms, so stay tuned for that.
Cool. And we'll be talking about upcoming events that you won't want to miss. And of course, our business and band of the week. And of course, at the end, shout outs. We always do. So today we have Roger Tyler.
Hey.
He is an actor and director residing in Richmond, Virginia. He has accomplished many goals in the field, from working with Ethan Hawke, like I said, the good Lord Bird, starring in an episode of For My Man, lots of commercials and short films, and many voice-over spots. Roger continues to chase his dream and catch his goal on the road to Hollywood. Let us welcome Roger.
All right, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the dungeon.
Oh, I'm here. It's a really nice dungeon, though. It's nice here.
We've kept
Yeah,
some
so we've upgraded. It used to be in a literal basement, I believe.
Yeah.
I never saw the dungeon.
Let's do the hot topic.
All right, so we're going to be talking about Matthew Perry's mysterious death and ketamine. And so Matthew Perry, as you might know him, was a star of the famous 90s show Friends, and he unfortunately passed away in October 2023 at the age of 54 in his jacuzzi. And autopsy results revealed he was under the influence of ketamine, which contributed to his untimely death. As of August, 5 people have been charged in connection to his death. There have been 3 doctors, a distributor, and his personal assistant.
Oh, and this distributor is called the Ketamine Queen. That's her nickname.
Yes.
Sounds like a supervillain, which she is.
Yeah, the Ketamine Queen, which, probably isn't a good nickname or alias to go by. I'm the K Queen.
Unless you're at Burning Man.
Yeah, like come over here to my tent, Ketamine Queen. They have all been accused of taking advantage of Matthew Perry's known addiction issues to gain profit. And so the investigators combed through all of their texts, and they found one in between the doctors that said, "I wonder how much this moron will pay," and that they also wanted to be the actor's quote go-to for drugs. And so when the doctors were texting back and forth, they called ketamine Dr. Pepper. So, yeah, I'll have a Dr. Pepper, please, in the text messages.
What about Little Sweet?
No.
Sorry, it's not funny.
So what is ketamine, and does it have any legitimate medical benefits?
Yes.
Or is it only a horse tranquilizer?
That's what I thought it was, a horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, so that's what they used it for.
But recently, they've been using it to treat depression and anxiety, especially in like veterans, I've heard. Like there's this organization called MAPS, and they're all about like I forgot what it stands for, but basically they are for the research of psychedelics and helping people with mental health battles. And I think it's really beneficial. I think that the psychedelic drugs, they have a bad rep because they're used for recreational purposes, but they actually can be used for good. I mean, recreational can be a good thing sometimes, but for like medical purposes, I think it's really needed.
Everybody plays Super Mario, so
Yeah, so I was reading more into ketamine, and I had no idea how involved it is in the medical community. So it's used in like emergency circumstances. It's for like severely injured people, and it used to be used in emergency surgery in war zones.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so when they discovered it, I think it was the 50s or 60s, they used it in Vietnam for like...
People feeling good.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so I never knew that. And like you were saying, used for anxiety and depression, it's known as a rapid-acting antidepressant, and it's currently used as the third line. And so like when you're talking about lines, the first line are like SSRIs, like Lexapro. And but the only thing is with ketamine, it's much more temporary, and it's also very addictive. So and it can be used to treat PTSD and trauma. And I found this to be very interesting. So people under ketamine anesthesia who actually remember their dreams under the anesthesia report having near-death experiences.
In the dream?
Yeah, so it's like ketamine activates this parts of your brain, so you start like seeing the light. You see dead
creepy.
relatives. Yeah, it's really.
So you kind of cross the threshold in your unconsciousness.
I just wonder what actors like go through when they are that big, though. Like Matthew Perry was a huge star on Friends, so it's like, what took you to that point to where you want to do something to yourself like that?
Yeah,
like, that is scary to think about. Even as myself being an actor, like, what do they see? What do they go through?
And Aaron Carter died a similar death. He died in a bathtub. He was on drugs. I don't know what drug he was on. I think it was ketamine.
And Whitney Houston died in a bathtub smoking crack or cocaine.
Didn't what's her name? The actress Playboy that reminds me of Liz. Anna Nicole Smith, didn't she die in a bathtub?
I'm not too sure, but there seems to be a connection of celebrities in bathtubs.
Yeah, I will stay away from those when I'll take showers.
Stay away from your bathtub.
No.
So yeah, ketamine can be used for bad and good purposes.
Let's just go into the interview.
Okay.
So, Roger, are you from Richmond? If not, what brought you here?
I am definitely from Richmond.
Cool,
but
native.
I was raised in Spotsylvania. So I was born, and of course, everybody was born in VCU, and everybody has some type of tie here if you're from here, whether it's you're in upper North Carolina, North Carolina, but I mean Caroline County in Spotsylvania, or like further south, like down that way, like Danville and stuff. You have some type of connection to Richmond, whether you're here all the time or whatever. Yeah, I've always came back and forth because of my family. I had most of my family was here when I was born, but now they're back home in Spotsylvania where I was born. So where I was raised. But I've always had that connection coming here. I've always just been in Richmond, and especially like back in the days when the old Kroger on East Ridge was a movie theater. So I go see movies there.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that used to be a movie theater. And
that's a cool tidbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like the late 80s, early 90s, I want to say. So I've seen a rack of movies there when we were coming here. And my mom went to J. Sargent Reynolds here. Okay. And I've just always had that connection here also by being in kindergarten as a kid. So I was going to school, a little preschool here, and I had my little friends, but that connection always has been with me ever since I've been born. It's just Richmond's been in my heart, but I was raised in Spotsylvania.
So you love Richmond?
I love this place. Okay. This place is, as much as I hear people say that they hate it, they don't want to be here.
I don't get that.
I see it a lot.
It's a wonderful place to be.
Richmond is just an overlooked city just in general. And that can be a good thing because, you know, if less people want to live here, we can experience more of it.
Exactly. And it's disheartening to hear people say that because this place is like our own. Like if you're from here, it's like this is your home. This is where this is what I take care of. This is what I like to be at. This is the place where if anything happens in another state, if I move to wherever, I can always come home.
Yeah.
But this has always been my heart, man. I love Richmond since day one.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in acting? How old were you? Were you in theater?
Okay. That's a funny question. I tell this story a lot. When I was in kindergarten, we had this Elvis play where they were doing like a whole Elvis song tribute thing for us, and they wanted somebody to do the guitar hop across the stage. So I'm like, I'll do it. I had my little red guitar, and going up to that moment, I was just so excited, like my heart just pumping. And then I do the guitar hop all the way across the stage, and I was just like, oh, this is hype. I'm
You
cool.
were a ham.
Yeah, that right there was my first addiction of being on stage and getting that attention like that. So I've always had it there. I've done plays throughout high school, middle school. I was in drama in high school, won a letter for that. It always has been there in me. But
what kind of plays did you do?
Which one? It was when 7th grade I did one called A Night to Remember, where I played janitor giving a monologue.
Okay.
And it was very like he was.
I can imagine that.
Yes, he was like one of those very like stressed out men, and he's always going through it, and so I had to do a monologue for that. And then going to high school, I did a play called Baby. I don't know if anybody out there is in the theater when in high school they've done that play before called Baby.
No, I've never heard of that one.
But I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I was in theater too. I did Arsenic and Old Lace.
Same.
And,
I did. Who were you in Arsenic and Old Lace?
Jonathan.
I was Martha.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, 13 Angry Men, or what's it? What's another one? The thing is, what it's called, 13 Angry Men, where they're all playing a not prosecutors, but they're playing like the jury, and they have to come up with the who done it thing, and then there's always somebody in the whole. I played one of the jurors, so that was another thing I did in high school, and then when I got to 9th grade, when I was in 9th grade, I found another love. I got into music.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
What did you play?
I didn't play
Okay.
anything. I loved hip hop.
Okay.
So hip hop, I kind of got into the whole rap freestyle thing, and
That's cool.
listened to Jay-Z and everybody from that era, because my era, I'm an old man. I am
you're not.
from 2003. That's the year I
That's
graduated.
That's the best hip hop.
I graduated 2002. So
Yeah, we're in the same era.
Yeah,
So that era, like
Yeah.
Jay-Z retiring is Dipset and all types of other people,
God,
DMX.
I wish Liz was here because she loves all that too. We're
Oh,
big
man.
fans.
Oh.
And he's wearing a Biggie shirt for people who are listening.
Yes, and I'm wearing the Butters. This is what they call them in New York. That's the Timberlands that they wear. So
cool.
I'm on my Biggie theme today. But going back to the rap thing, I did that through high school. I was getting into it, and surprisingly, I found my first talent show tape, which was the first time I've ever been on stage. I found like 2 days ago when I was cleaning out a shed. And it's so weird because that's the first time I ever was recorded and the first time I ever rapped on a stage. So it was almost like euphoric to see that. Like, wow, I came through doing so much with music and still had that ability in me to be on stage and to be in front of people, which is something that as an actor, you may not have an audience in front of you most of the times, but you also got the audience that's on screen. So you have to play on screen like you're working with 100,000 people in the audience.
That's true.
Yeah, like when I did For My Man, that's on TV1. That was played to millions. So my face is there. I'm acting. I have to show people that I can act and show my ability. So that was one thing right there where that shows when you see yourself on screen and see yourself on TV when you're younger and see yourself now, it's almost like it brings a tear to your eye sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, dang, man, I really came a long way.
Yeah.
So seeing that 2 days ago before I came to this podcast was like kind of a good, like, all right, you've been doing this for a while, my man. Like, you have a lot that you could talk about that you've done and people that you worked with. But music was that first thing when in 1999 when I first started with everything in high school. So that branched off into radio television later in like 11th and 12th grade when I got into that. And that's when I got the bug to be on actual TV doing anchor work on kind of like a little platform that we have for weather.
Okay. That's cool.
That's really cool. Matt has experience, like we were talking before the pod. Matt worked in radio.
Yeah, so I worked at radio station at NC State University, and we talked about this before, WRIR.
Yes.
And so I did some of the promos for that. And why don't you tell us about your experience?
WRIR I owe to one of my brothers, my best friend, a guy that has really done a lot in Richmond, Virginia. And I recommend everybody go looking this man up. His name is Black Liquid. He works at WRIR. He does hip hop for the rest of us from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays, or 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. on Saturday. I said 3 p.m. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. He also is a teacher. He teaches in Richmond City Schools, and he also teaches at Sabbath too, Stony Point.
I know.
I've actually done that with him for a year too, and taught with him as assistant, and it was awesome. But I got into WRR through him because he had the show 97.3 Hip Hop for the Rest of Us, and at the time we were both at a showcase called it was at Have a Nice Day. I don't know if anybody out there in Richmond Have a Nice Day Cafe.
That rings a bell.
Back in the day,
so
Have a Nice Day.
Dave Matthews used to play it. Have a Nice Day.
Yes, old kind of club venue. There's this guy named J30 that was very detrimental to the beginning of hip hop in a lot of the areas in Richmond. He threw a showcase called Show Your Skills, and I'd always go there every Tuesday to perform. And I worked at a hotel called the Knights Inn on Brook Road, which is pretty legendary to most people in Glen Allen.
Okay,
but
I live close by to Brook Road.
Yep, Knights Inn on Brook Road.
Yeah, I think I've seen
beside the Aunt Sarah's. That's where I was for a long time, 15 years.
I love hearing these, like, God, Richmond has so many facets.
It's so many things. It's a lot of facets here. But I used to work there, and I used to have to get somebody to come watch the desk for me for a few hours so I can go perform. So I go there all the time and perform and rap. And Black Liquid happened to be one of the people there too. And me and his style are similar because there was always those trap guys or the trap rappers me and him always stood out because we were always like punchline heavy or spitting actual stuff that you'd understand and not just killing anybody.
I don't know much about like the differences between things. So what's the difference between what is trap? I want to know.
Trap is more street heavy, more like thumps, 808s.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can definitely tell by the beat, and the drum machine.
Yes, it's more just grungy and real heavy beats, heavy bass lines.
So like give a few examples of artists.
3 6 Mafia.
Oh, I love 3 6 Mafia. Okay, then I like trap music.
Anything 3 6, Jeezy.
That's my
Gucci
baby
Man.
mama.
Yep, all them. That's all the trap is. And we were more on the whole like Lupe Fiasco, Jay-Z type stuff.
Yeah, I love both.
So
I like Jay-Z
on
a
that
lot.
era. And that's how he found me. He just happened to one day get his boy, which is Lord Slug, Justin Barnes. He came to me and was like, hey, daddy, my boy Black want to talk to you. And I'm looking at him like, who is this guy? And it's me and my boy looking at him like, who is this dude? And he points in the corner to this guy, tall dude with these big dreads, wearing glasses, looks bushy, and this just looks like a regular street dude. And I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, he wants to talk to me? Like, I don't even know this dude. Well, I ended up going and talking to him, and he told me that he had a show at WRR 97.3, Hip Hop for the Rest of Us. He's like, you should come up someday. And I'm like, all right, I guess. So me and my boy were talking, headed home. He was like, you should do that. I went up there that Saturday. I ran into what's my future team now, the New Juice Crew. I ran into a bunch of them, and one of them, Emphasis, he was there, and he walked in, and I know he won't mind me saying this, but he walked in limping. And I'm like, why is he limping? But I'm like, wow, man, you must have went too hard on the stage, right? And he looked at me and laughed, was like, yeah, and kept walking. Come to find out, he's like my best friend now, but he actually has cerebral palsy. So he is a super strong MC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was grinding. He was
good for him.
Yes,
I love that.
That's my dog. His birthday's coming up too, so happy early birthday, Imp. But I met him and I met Lick and I met all these great people at 97.3, and it was like the start of me meeting the nucleus of everything in Richmond that I was around.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I met people like him. I know you've probably heard of Noah O. All these different MCs that were always coming to the station. It was almost like the Hall of Justice. Like all the superheroes would come there from time to time to talk and meet up.
That's so cool.
And that's what 97.3 was.
The great minds meeting, yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly how I met everybody and got connected with 97.3.
You had a lot of great mentors.
Yes, a lot, man. I mean, shout outs to my whole team, the New Juice Crew. But that's how I got into that with my music. So music was kind of like a nucleus to everything that I have, including acting.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
So did you know WRR, they're moving to Main Street down here in Shaka Bottom?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're moving their studio. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
The tidbits in this episode.
Yes. I wonder why they're moving. But I mean, at least it still exists.
Yeah.
Just from the donators and people that are like involved with it, like behind the scenes. So that's the plus. That is definitely a plus.
So bringing it back to acting. So I did theater and I did a little bit of acting in college. So I was going to ask this question. So theater versus like movie acting is so different because theater, not only is the audience different because you are literally in front of hundreds of people that are in the audience, and then the movies, you're on a screen, people are elsewhere, but like theater is very dramatic and like movie is more realistic.
Yes.
How do you... it's so hard, like bridging the gap between those, like finding your movie acting versus your theater. How did that work for you? Was it difficult?
It actually really wasn't too difficult because I grew up watching movies. Like, so I've always knew the acting side of things, but I just never did it. We'd always play around as my little cousins and stuff. We play around and acting like we're playing Terminator 2. I'd be the Terminator. My little cousin be T-1000, acting like he's running behind the car and jumping. And my aunt would laugh. And my aunt Lisa, she's kind of like my first director because she was the one that always laughed and coaches on with stuff like that. So it's just always been there. But with theater, it's totally different because you don't have multiple takes.
Yeah.
In acting, you have so many takes.
The perfect
like,
one.
You can cut. All right, stop. We'll do this again. And I've been on scenes and sets where I did one takes, and I've been on scenes and sets where I just going just having a bad day, and it's happened to every actor. You have your bad days, you have your good days, but the difference, like I said, is just you only have one shot with theater, or it's almost like freestyle improv. So going back to rapping, that's freestyling. When you're improvising, if something happens on stage, if somebody flubs up and says the wrong word or something, you have to think in your head, all right, what can I do to catch this up to make them still connect on to what I'm doing too?
And that's a skill in itself,
That
I
is
think,
a super skill.
To improvise.
Yeah.
Yes. That's,
oh yeah, theater is all about improvising,
Yes.
improvision.
Yes.
Improvisation.
Yeah,
Freestyling technically. So going back to what Black Liquid did, every time we'd have like freestyle sessions on the radio, it was just always freestyling
That's
every
hard.
Saturday. Freestyle.
That's awesome.
And he freestyles all the time. He has freestyles on freestyles on freestyles. So I learned a lot from him about monologuing and just catching up and just having to, all right, they
Get
messed
put on
up.
the
I gotta do this. You put on the spot all the time. And it all connects. Like at the end of the day, all that just connects in my life from doing film and stuff. It's just that theater aspect with having to your one take to being on films and having to do it multiple times. It just all connects. It's all a thing. And at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
yeah. I was just about to say, it seems you're like a well-rounded entertainer. You've done MC, you've done freestyle, you've done like MCing, you've done acting, theater, and movies.
Yes.
So I was gonna ask, when was your big break in acting? Like, how did you become an actual actor on the big screen?
All right. I could talk about that. And this is where we will go kind of sad. Well, the For My Man episode that I did, that was shown on TV1, which is like a subsidiary of like kind of like BET-ish type network, and it's pretty big in the area, like in this.
In Richmond?
Not in Richmond, just the East Coast.
Oh, cool.
And all around. It's national television. But that episode I did was kind of like my big break. So around that time,
And how did you get how did you land that? We want to know.
I had actually did a audition for something else for TV1 where I was playing a crazy man. So
I gotta do that.
Yeah, I had to like literally like put myself in a situation to where I'm
mentally unstable.
Yeah, I'm unstable. I done killed somebody. What would you do if
Right.
you put somebody in a bathtub? So I had to act that out.
I want to see that clip.
Oh yeah, I think I put it out
Matthew
a
Perry.
while ago. It's somewhere on my Facebook or Instagram. But I had to do that. I had to act like a crazy guy. I had to act like what am I going through with this situation? if I'm trying to lure somebody in, what would you do? So I had to record that with my ex at the time. And I did that, didn't get that role, but they had hit me up like 3 or 4 months later and was like, hey, we saw that you did this role, but we think you'll be good for this role. And I'm like, what? And I go
Hell
crazy,
yeah.
spazzing out like, yes. So I end up seeing at the bottom of it said, but you'll be kissing somebody.
Ooh.
So I'm like, oh no, I have a girlfriend and I know that can be a thing. And
Oh, yeah, I've
that
been
can
there.
be a thing when
Yeah.
you're in a relationship, and that can be bad. So I was like, all right, either I take it and just suck it up because this is my life and it's something I want to do to be ahead, or do I just want to make my girlfriend mad? And I'm
She should have
sorry.
understood. That's your big
It's-
chance.
I've had so many conversations about that it's almost like it's 50-50 with everybody. So I get it on some ends, and now I don't, and then I'm still like, nah, F that. I'm glad I did it because I ended up doing it.
Good.
She left me. We ended up getting back together, and like a month or so later, but it was just something I had to live with for a whole year because I did that role,
Yeah.
and that role was like,
Are you
so
still
cool.
together?
No, I'm not gonna put her out there. She's a good
Okay.
person though, but
Yeah.
yeah. That was my breakout role doing that, and that was fun. Like I actually even like I had to travel to Maryland. I was up there for at least 2 weeks back and forth
That's
shooting that,
cool.
and we finished it. I had to do the kissing scene. It wasn't bad though. It was just like literally like 2 hands come together. You
yeah.
clap your hands. That's how quick the kiss was.
Yeah, that's
A little
nothing.
peck.
So fast forward into when it released, 2018, because I did that in 2017. And then 2018 is when it actually aired. So when it aired, literally like a few days before that, I have a cousin that was my favorite cousin in the world, one of my favorite cousins. He was so great, so dope. We always butt heads as a kid, but when we got later in life, he was just
Yeah.
a great guy. He
Sounds
just-
like my mom and I.
Yes, he's a great guy. So I was telling him I was excited about it, like, yo, man, because he lived in Texas at the time. So I'm telling him about like, hey, man, I'll be on TV in a few days. You can't wait for you to watch. He was like, yeah, man, I'm excited for you. So the day's coming up, a few days going in. It's like a day or two before it airs. I get a phone call from my cousin. I get home. I'm just getting off work, and my cousin is screaming and crying, and telling me that my cousin took his life.
Oh wow.
So
Oh no.
yeah. So when that aired, it was very like kind of, I wanted to feel happy when it aired. I wanted to be
Yeah.
great.
Some mixed
Yeah.
emotions
but
there.
it was
Yeah.
You couldn't.
so much we went through at that time.
Yeah.
That's
just
so
losing
hard
him
when
through-
like you're two extremes. Like you just did this crazy accomplishment in your life and you're so happy, but then you're devastated.
Yeah.
Like that is strange.
it devastated. It hurt me.
Yeah.
It killed me. I took that really hard because we also had to go to Texas to pick up his belongings.
Wow.
And he's a veteran too, by the way. But when you get to Texas, they don't clean off like evidence and stuff. So me and my uncle had to go down there and actually clean his remains off of his car.
Wow.
Oh my
God.
God.
Wow.
That's terrible.
That whole
That
month,
seems like some trauma there.
yeah, it definitely.
That's not right.
Yeah, man, that's how Texas law is. They don't clean
That's kind
evidence.
of crazy.
So,
I did not know that either.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
yeah, so we had to clean all the evidence up, and
I'm so
bring
sorry
that
you
car
went
back.
through that. That's traumatizing.
That was
you
a-
should never have to do that with a loved one.
yeah, but I mean, that's
Yeah, that sounds like a
we
dark
live,
time,
man.
right?
It
Yeah.
was a very dark period for that month. So
Yeah.
that month was so great because I had people come up to me, "Oh, I saw your TV one episode," and I got a smile with tears in my eyes. I'm
I'm
and
feeling all
it's-
sorts of things right now.
Yeah, and I'm just I even talked about it on a film that I did, a documentary on men's mental health, and I talked about how that was affecting me during that time and how that episode, that breakout episode
Yeah.
for me, just really was. It was so many emotions at one time, but I was able to get through that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how important your mental health is, you
Yes.
know? And
Oh God, yeah. You can't do anything
yeah.
if your mental health isn't right.
Yes,
yeah, it's like,
We've all
Yeah.
been there.
yep.
things stress you out. You want to break sometimes. You want to just give up, and You
just wanna
can't.
be a kid
Yeah,
again.
you just got to
adults.
find it within you to just keep going.
We're
So
adults. We can't just go cry to mom, and some of us can. Some of us go.
I
"Hey,
just
Mom,
did.
Can I
literally just did this past weekend.
Yes, hey, I'm like thankful for people that do have their mother or their father or both in their lives, because you don't have that. But I have my mother too. But it's a good thing when you have that. But we are adults now. We have to.
You have to handle your own shit.
Yes.
yeah, so I wanted to talk about some of the other productions you've been involved. You have an exhaustive list on IMDb. Why don't you talk about some of your favorites that you've done, or like some,
Oh wow. Well, let's go. We'll start with some recent things. Are y'all gamers? Video gamers?
I used to play
I like
Halo
The
back in the
Sims.
day.
Okay.
I play The Sims.
Okay.
Hardcore.
But if you know Halo, then you've heard of Titanfall, haven't you?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So we had shot a film, or well, we didn't shoot a film, but my one of my good friends, his name is Caleb Chamberlain, and he just moved back to Virginia Beach. He moved out to Minnesota, I think, at the time where I'm not sure. Don't shoot me, Caleb. I'm not sure where he was at the time when he was filming this, but he had hit me up and was like, "Hey, man, I'm shooting something on Unreal Engine, and I want to see if you want to be involved in it." And I was like, "Heck yeah! Like Unreal Engine, so y'all do something with that. That's awesome." So he ended up having he got a extensive cast from all around the U.S. and Hawaii, where we all were in basically FaceTime or Zoom.
Yeah.
We're doing Zoom calls, and he's scanning our faces. We have to act out wherever we're at, scanning our face, and he puts it on the character.
That is so cool.
That's out now, and that's called Titanfall New Frontiers. That's on YouTube right now. You can watch that.
That's freaking amazing.
I'm gonna check that out.
And it's a 6-part series, and every episode except for the last episode is an hour, but they're like 30 minutes long. But Titanfall was such a great experience, because that's something that you normally don't see people doing with technology, and he did so much with that technology that we shot another short that we dropped recently called you might have seen that on my Facebook, called Room 24. And it's based on Red Dead Redemption.
I know what that is.
Red Dead Redemption. So I play a character called Obadiah.
I know.
And it's a side story to Red Dead Redemption, but that was done in Unreal Engine. But this character actually looks just like me. He is literally my face scan, and I had to wear a mocap suit and everything. And I went to Virginia Beach to shoot it, and I was in the suit, and every movement that he has is my movements.
So you're actually in the video game Red Dead.
I'm not in the actual game,
but you're on the short.
There's a short for it. Yes.
Wow, that is amazing.
I'm gonna check that out too.
Yes, I'll send you all those. It's a film that he did too as well, and it's getting traction, like, because the people we work with are just awesome, and there's such a broad span of fans in the Titanfall and Red Dead Redemption community, man. Like, that is, I didn't realize how big those communities are, especially Titanfall. Like, Titanfall has had so many ups and downs, and people are still connected to that community. They love that game. And to get the feedback and to see everybody loving the fan film and loving exactly what we brought to it and the characters and what Caleb had, his brain just conjured up. It was such a great experience. And then with the Red Dead Redemption short, it felt great playing a character like that. And Obadiah is a black cowboy. That's something that you don't see a lot of, like in a lot of films and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool shit.
Yeah, it's unless you like we're gonna not think about Wild West, but just anything other than that. Other black cowboys that were back in the 70s is what I was studying for that. And I've seen a film called The Harder They Fall that's on Netflix. That's a film that was really good that I studied for that role for Obadiah for the Red Dead Redemption short. But that's two things I'm really proud of right now, and I'm excited about that.
So
they're out.
Proud.
Y'all can watch those now. Go to Plot Coalition on YouTube, and you will see all of it. Again, Plot Coalition, you will see all that on YouTube, and that's two of my proudest things right now. But I have so much more I can talk about.
You're making me think of Django.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Film I was giving more
that's
like
such a great movie.
Yeah, I was on that feedback of that too, and looking at that and trying to pick up things from that too. As a black cowboy, I had to change my accent. I had to use a Western dialect for that, so I sound like an actual country cowboy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I had to use y'alls and theirs and all that. I had to talk like that. So it was definitely a challenge, man. But I loved every minute of that.
So we've talked about this on the podcast before, Homeland.
Yes.
So I was an extra on season 7.
Me too.
Really?
I was an extra on season 7 too.
So
How have you guys not met before?
Hey,
You've crossed
which
paths like
episodes
twice.
did you do?
well, it was outside of the Times Dispatch building, and so I was a nondescript pedestrian, and you can see me walk around the corner of the opposite building across the street. And so I totally forgot which episode it was, but it was. You know,
Was
the
it
first
really
time.
cold outside that day?
It was rainy and it was cold. So
I think I was there too. And they gave us like some type of soup or something.
no, I didn't
I
get
can't remember that.
I didn't
He
get
didn't
any,
get no damn
They didn't give you
soup.
any soup?
No, I didn't get
Oh,
any
the soup was crack. It was so good. It was like vegetable soup or something like that. And it was so cold out there. And it tasted like the best soup I've ever had in my life because we were so hungry. And we were out there for hours.
Yeah.
It was like a long time.
Yeah,
And it was raining.
I was out there for hours just walking around.
Yeah, that was kind of the start of me like getting an actual resume for acting. So I started with Homeland when it came here, like as far as like, oh, I can put this on my resume.
Yeah.
This is good. Because I had commercials and stuff, but I'm not seen in those commercials. But Homeland, I'm actually in a scene with Elizabeth Marble.
Nice, yeah.
Barbara Rosenblatt, which is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
We've seen
Rose
that,
on Orange is the New Black. I'm telling you, I was a stand for Rose on Orange is the New
Wait,
Black.
Rose is the really hot girl.
No,
right?
she's the old lady with cancer.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I love her.
Yes.
She was the bank robber.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was actually in the episode that I was in.
Really?
So
No
I'm in the scene with her.
way.
I'm playing at the round table where they're having like a big like discussion. So I'm just one of the like people in the background. Well, I'm walking the set that day and I'm walking and I look to my left and I happen to see her. And this is the first time this has ever happened to me. And I've been around a lot of actors and actresses. But I froze and I was like, oh, that's Rose. And she looked at me and I looked at her and I kind of like turned away and just kept walking and walking down. So I knew that I was like, I'm about to be in a scene with Rose. So I'm sitting there the whole time being just like a little like, just kind of like stiff, like, oh man, this is Rose right there. So they do their scene or whatever and we go to lunch. So she's at lunch and I'm walking in and she literally beelines to me and I'm like shook and she's like, you did such a great job on set today. And I just shook and I was like, I'm such a big fan of you on Orange is the New Black. You're awesome. And I just froze and she started laughing. Was like, oh, you can't do that. No, you can't do that here. But it was great to meet her. So I definitely did Homeland.
And that was in Richmond.
Yes,
that
Richmond.
Experience.
Yes, right at the
Damn.
studio. That was off of near Chamberlain.
Okay.
That studio that
That's
they had.
awesome.
So did you meet Claire Danes too? Or-
I did not meet Claire. I wasn't on any scenes with Claire, but I was in scenes with Elizabeth Marble, Mandy Patinkin, Barbara Rosenblatt, and that little round table scene was where I was actually got a feature for that. I got the pink slip is what they call it when you get the 3 pink slips and you can join SAG eligible.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I got my slips on Homeland.
So speaking of celebrities, what other notable celebrities have you worked with? And do you have any that you wouldn't work with again or who were surprising to meet in person? Like, oh, that's not
That's a
who I
great
expected.
question.
That's a great question.
I was just about to ask that.
I've actually haven't came across too many that I wouldn't work for. I've seen some like probably D-listers that I was like I would never work for again.
D-listers.
Yeah, some weird people that have no name or nothing. It's like, all right, like even I'm not saying that I'm any better, but they really acted like they shit didn't stink.
Yeah.
So I can't think of this one lady's name. When I was shooting Messiah in DC, that was a series that's on Netflix.
Okay.
So we were at this at the big landmark that they have out there, the monument.
Okay.
So we're walking down the steps and there's this reporter that keeps coming across. And I guess she's a B, C, D-list, E-list actress or whatever. But she would always like cut in front of us when we were walking. It was me and a few other people.
Okay.
And then she ended up getting an attitude and was like, they're cutting in front of me and they're this. And we looked at her like, really? Like, that's what they telling us to do. And they looked, because she had lines in the actual film, but she had like she was just a reporter and she was talking.
Yeah,
That's
just
all.
like...
But she was so nasty to us that the director was even like, "That just go this way. What are you like complaining for? Just go the other way." So whoever that woman is, I would never work for her again. But other than that, I've worked with Ethan Hawke. I loved Ethan Hawke. I was standing on the Good Lord Bird for Daveed Diggs.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know who Daveed Diggs is.
No,
you
I
ever
don't.
watch Hamilton?
Yes.
He played Thomas Jefferson.
Well, my wife
that's
is
curly hair.
I haven't seen Hamilton, but Liz has seen that, who is currently not here.
He is also in, if you watch Blackish or shows like that, or
Yeah,
Crash,
yeah, Blackish, yeah.
He was her brother, curly hair dude.
Oh, yeah, okay.
him. I was just standing, so I got to meet him and Ethan Hawke too.
What was Ethan Hawke like?
So fun. Awesome. Ethan Hawke is such a great actor, and he's such a great human being. Offset too. He's just a nice person. Like he doesn't carry himself cocky. He doesn't carry himself like he doesn't want to talk to anybody, and he holds conversations with you. But the first day I met him, I was standing for David. So him and David were at the river, and they had to talk to each other, and he had to kneel down in front of David and give a speech. Well, I had to stand in for him. So I'm like, all right, I'm standing in. I'm thinking to stand in for Ethan's coming in. No, Ethan Hawke literally comes in on set and stands there, and he kneels in front of me, and he just starts doing his thing. And I'm just like, oh, that's Ethan Hawke right in front of me.
That's fucking amazing.
So you were starstruck at that moment.
But this is what he did to break it. He was just talking. Then he looked up and he's like, you can say hi, man. He's like, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm like, how you doing? I shook his hand and everything. And
I'm a normal person.
yeah, he's like, it's all cool, man. Like, you ain't got to be like stiff like that. You can be cool. You're just standing there. So he was real cool, man. Like, he's a real nice guy. And we also threw him like a birthday party on set.
Okay.
Ethan's just a very, very, like I said, down to earth actor. That's all I can give him.
That's really cool to know.
David was cool too. I was only on set with him for like a day. I was with Ethan for like 4 months. But David, I was there for a day, and I was just like, I had to ride with him to set. So I got in the back of the truck with him, and it's just me, him, and the driver. And we're talking, and he's just like, yeah, man, so what have you seen me? I'm like, yo, I've seen you in Blackish, and that was one of my favorite roles. And he was like, really? I never heard anybody say that. And then I didn't realize at the time that he's been in like, I think Crash and a bunch of other stuff that was like legendary. And I'm like, oh shoot, David Diggs is also a voice actor too as well. So he's done voice acting and cartoons, animation. So
I would love to get into that. I feel like I have a cartoon voice.
You can definitely do it. It's not hard to get into like voiceovers and animations and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
I always
all
thought I
out
could
here.
do voiceovers.
It's all out here,
Yeah,
man.
Matt and I both have unique voices.
Shout outs to In Your Ear Studios. They
Yeah, I've
do a
heard
lot
of
of
them
demos.
before.
They do demos here. So I think the guy's name is Paul, who I worked with when I did my voiceover demo. He's really good. He throws classes here all the time, and he does a lot for like voice acting community in Richmond. That's somebody that I would recommend people to go to is the In Your Ear Studio, because they're
Good to
very,
know.
very great. Yes.
I've always wanted to try.
And I think they hold Chaco sessions too. If people have heard Chaco sessions, when they have
Yeah, I've heard
different
of
bands.
that, yeah.
Yeah, they hold that there too. So it's awesome, man. Like, In Your Ear is a great place for voiceover actors. And I hear a lot of people that come up to me and say, I want to be a voiceover actor. And I'm like, that's the best place to do, is just to start getting your demo going. Start like, he'll sit there with you and give you actual things to read that are actual commercials, and he'll match your voice to what you can use for your demo.
Yeah, I've actually, I looked into it, and it's a little bit harder than I thought, because you have to be very aware of like what you can't strain your voice too much.
Yes.
You need to have like a clear, crisp voice. You can't smoke, So
I'm gonna smoke. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you can't smoke.
you can, yeah.
Depending on your voice.
Yeah.
If you, as long as you're not like I'm not a cigarette smoker at all. I hate cigarettes. But if you really have a unique voice and a unique tone, you can literally get into it. You just have to have that tone, and that's with acting too. You have to have that it factor for everything. If you are going to do this, you're going to do this, or you're not. And there's people that are a thousand times over. I've had a nickel for every time somebody asks me, how do I become an actor? What can I do to become an actor? How did you do it? How did this? I would be a millionaire right now and wouldn't be an actor, because it's not easy. And nothing out here that you try to do like that is easy. Nothing. And it's stressful to see so many people thinking that, oh, I can just get on TikTok and do this and I'm an actor now. That's not how that goes. You have to actually put into the work to be an actor. And we've gotten to a point in society and stuff now where you literally think that this is an easy gig.
No,
It's not. Like,
Hell, nothing
it's
worthwhile
not.
is easy.
It's not at all.
because there's a lot of competition.
Yes, there's
and
other actors.
You gotta
there's
work
other
hard.
demographics, and Virginia is not the most friendly on black actors. I
No,
will say that.
that's
There's not a
unfortunate,
lot
yeah.
for us to really do here. They kind of slowed down with it, but it's always slave stuff they shoot here. And you get tired of being like slave number 7,
God.
number 8.
Slave number 7.
And literally
Or
on
like,
the Good Lord Bird, I was about to walk off because I saw 2 little black girls in the cage. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm done.
yeah.
I'm not doing this. I can't do this. And I was at the time getting so frustrated with Virginia and their acting. It's just slave stuff at the time.
Yeah.
I got so frustrated.
This is
but then
the
that's when I got the call to be a stand-in, and I was a stand-in for 4 months after that. But that last day, I did not want to do it because for black actors, it's their stuff here, but stuff as leads, it's kind of few and far between. So that's another reason why I haven't joined SAG. If I joined the Screen Actors Guild, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that I can do now. I can't do my own films, which I'll talk about that in a second, and other things as well, because you're locked into a contract. You can only do what's on their roster, on their thing. So I just kept it eligible for right now until it's the right time for me to actually join.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we've just talked about, what is your next goal in acting?
What I'm doing now is directing. I directed a few years ago a short film called Daughter that's been in film festivals. It's been on a run, and that's a film that I shot that was based on just things I seen going around. I know people are like, well, you don't have kids and everything, but I've been around so many good people and good parents and good friends that I just gave my input into a short film. It's not like I wrote a whole story about fatherhood and how to do this and how to do that. I was just talking from an aspect of a person that also was an orphan. The guy that I played, Michael, in that film, because I starred and directed it, Michael, he's actually was in the system. So I had a cousin at the time that was in the system that I didn't even know until I took a 23andMe one day and happened to just find out that there's a kid out here that's in the foster system. That's my little cousin.
Really?
My uncle was in the military. You have a little too much fun. And he ended up finding out that he didn't know that he had a son. So I connected them two through that, and me and him talked about foster system and stuff that you go through. And then I've had other friends of mine that have been in the foster system. So I made him that as well. And it was just kind of a play on all of that, like just being in the system and just having to be a single father in the world. That's out there now. And like I said, with directing, I've co-directed other things. Another film called Together that's on watchmamu.com, WATCHMAMU.com. And that's where a lot of the films where Daughter is, and also the film Together that I did where I played a husband that's wife is on the verge of leaving him, but not him leaving alive. So yeah, that's a short film too as well that I co-directed. And now I'm actually on post-production with the film that I'm working on called The Way We Were. And that's a horror that I shot in January.
Cool.
I'd like to see that.
Yes, that's in January. That's coming up. That's a horror.
I was in a horror film.
Oh, really?
In college in 2000. It was entered in a film festival it was sometime between 2013 and 2015.
Okay.
It did not win or anything, but it was really, really fun to be in it.
Was it a 48-hour film festival?
It was in Rochester, New York, so I don't
okay.
think so. Yeah, I'm from upstate New York, but I was a lead. I was one of the lead Well, I wouldn't say lead. I was a supporting actor, but I had a big part. I was the sister of the lead actor. I like to act. I would like to get into it. Yeah, I'm glad we met.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I direct now, so I shoot my own stuff. The Way We Were is literally a horror that's like unlike a lot of things. It's like, guess who's coming to dinner? But I'm not going to tell what actually is the monsters in there, because you'll see. I don't want to spoil it until we start doing promotion for it, but it's kind of in the title if you really look hard enough.
Yeah, so if you need some extras, I'm sure we can have some availability.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah. We would
Now
love
that I know
to.
y'all have done it, and we're brothers on Homeland,
Yes,
And
we can
Liz-
actually do
Homeland.
something.
Uh-huh.
Liz is a really good actress too. She's
Okay.
very talented. We all are pretty good at. We're kindred spirits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I think we got to wrap it up.
Yeah, I know. I can talk for
could
days.
just-
So
y'all.
could we. We've got to have you back because there's so many more things we want to ask. Real quick, last question.
Yes.
What tips do you have to offer to aspiring Richmond actors?
First things first is do your research. That's on any aspect of anything you do in life. Do your research, because a lot of actors don't, and they go for these talent agencies or agents, and these people will rip you off. They'll charge you ridiculous amounts of money for stuff that you can get from just using your smartphone. And I stress that to so many of them, because I see the mistake all the time. They'll join this I will call one of them out, 99. Never go with 99 agency. That's the worst agency. They're terrible. They'll rip you off. They'll take your money. They do everything to you horrible. And I don't know why people join them. But watch for these agencies. Do your research.
Is that a local agency or
they're
nationwide?
Based more in Virginia based, I think. But they're just some of the worst people I've ever heard of. And if you do your Google, you'll see in there how bad 99 Agency is. They're just terrible people. So I recommend, first of all, do your research. Number 2, get some good headshots. Get great headshots. Like just, even if you have a friend that does headshots. And I know I'm talking to myself with this because I need to redo my headshots.
I got to do one for my portfolio.
Yes. So get some good headshots, get some of those going and market those. That's the first things first. Join a bunch of groups on Facebook. Join some actor groups on Facebook. Just put in on Facebook actor groups or theater groups or film groups or whatever groups you can find, and just find those and join those groups and see what those other actors and actresses are talking about. That's how I really became an actor so much into it. I didn't have any special classes or anything. I had one guy that actually was trying to show me some stuff one time, and he ripped me off.
Oh, okay.
And I found out like he's charging me money for stuff I can look up myself. But I did that, and I did all the research myself and found everything. So nothing out here is just pay to play. Never pay to play. Again, I stress, never pay to play in this field at all.
All right.
That's good advice.
Yes.
Shall we move on to our next segment?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
but we're going on to new segments, and you're welcome to join into everything because you're on the episode.
Okay.
And you're a friend now.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
So, Olivia, I know Liz isn't here, but do you want to say the...
Dropping on us, Big Daddy.
All right, so guys, I'm going to be talking about some local distilleries and tasting rooms in Richmond today. And the first one is Cirrus Vodka. It's located next to Mainline
The mainland.
Brewery east of Scott's Addition on O&B Lane. The brand started in 2004.
That long ago? Damn,
yes,
I thought they weren't. I didn't know they were that.
Yeah, so what sets them apart is the vodka is potato based, which is a more full body vodka with a sweeter, creamier profile. This was off of their website. So
I love Cirrus Vodka.
they have a triple distillation process followed by an 8-step charcoal filtration, which gives it that smooth character. And so the tasting room offers several vodka-based cocktails. The menu changes seasonally. Like, for instance, in December, they offer Christmas-themed cocktails. And they're going to have a new cocktail lounge opening on Summit Avenue in Scott's Addition.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to Blue Bee Cider, that closed, they're going to move into that space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. Congratulations, Cirrus.
Next up is Belle Isle Moonshine, and that's located in Manchester on Maury Street. And they offer a variety of flavors, including traditional corn whiskey and fruit-infused options like peach, blueberry, and apple cinnamon.
They have really good moonshine.
Yep, and they were founded in 2013. They started the distillery to create a more premium version of moonshine.
Shout out to Marissa. I know one of the designers. I don't think she works for them anymore, but she was one of like the starting designers.
Oh, really? And so some of their more popular flavors include the honey and habanero and the cold brew coffee and yuzu ginger. And the distillery has since expanded into canned cocktails, bourbon, and old fashions. And so next up is Reservoir Distillery. They're a distillery located in Scott's Addition on Summit Avenue, and they produce bourbon, wheat rye whiskeys established in 2008, and they make a delicious old-fashioned along with several other bourbon-based cocktails, such as a whiskey sour and a Manhattan.
Yum.
And they offer flights and other cocktails for the non-whiskey drinkers.
We got to do a little tour.
Yes, and next up is Virago Distillery. They're also located in Scott's Addition, imagine that. Next to Hermitage Road, close to Cirrus Vodka, so you can walk. When you're done with Cirrus, you can just hop over to...
Stumble over.
Yeah, and so they specialize in different types of rum and gin. They even have a spirit called Virago 151, which sounds dangerous.
That sounds great. I want some of that.
And so they have a tasting room serving rum and gin-based cocktails. They also have a lot of classic cocktails, such as a martini, old-fashioned, dark and stormy, daiquiri, gin and tonic, etc. And there's an espresso rum teeny.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
That has a base of rum And Virago 151, it has chocolate liqueur, cold brew concentrate, and salted vanilla simple syrup.
God, it sounds delightful.
It sounds dangerous.
Liz and I gotta go over there now.
It's like a Kahlua.
Come back from Italy, bitch.
Extreme Kahlua.
Yeah, and so one that I've heard of before, but I actually didn't know this one was in Richmond. It's called Trial and Error Distillery. It opened in 2010, and it's located in the Fan at the intersection of Main and Lombardy Street.
I like the name.
Yeah, so they specialize in vodka, rum, gin, whiskeys, and other spirits such as limoncello, grappa, and aquavit. And they have a tasting room that serves craft cocktails. And I actually have the limoncello in my liquor cabinet right now. It's pretty good.
I smelled it.
Yep.
Smelled good.
All right, so that concludes
Drop it on us, Big Daddy.
So,
Okay, you guys, let's talk about some upcoming events, shall we?
we shall.
All right. All right. Number 1, Rockbridge Beer and Wine Festival. You need to go. It's Saturday, September 7th from noon to 6. You can enjoy unlimited tasting of regional wines, hard cider, and beer all afternoon for a great price. Seriously, great price. $50 if you pre-order the tickets, and it's unlimited. Come on now.
Unlimited for $50?
Yeah. And $60 at the gate.
It sounds like you're going to need an Uber back.
Well, don't worry, because $20 if you're not going to taste the alcohol but want to sacrifice yourself to drive your friends.
$20 make you holla.
Amen. The local RVA band Funhouse will be playing there at 12:30. They're really good. They play like just fun classic rock 90s hits. I've seen them. They're very good. They're musicians from the band The Freds, if you've ever heard of them.
Why are they called the Freds?
Well, that was the old band. I don't know why they're called the Freds.
Are they?
Okay, so number 2. If you're an 80s metal fan, you're in luck. God, I wish I could go. On September 15th, Megadeth will be playing at Virginia Credit Union Live. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
God, that'll be fun.
If you're into Megadeth.
Yeah, if you're into Megadeth. And of course, number 3, like we've been saying all year pretty much, Fetch a Cure will be returning to the gorgeous Main Street station in downtown Richmond for their 16th celebration of the Pets on Parade benefit and auction. Voted in the top 3 best local fundraising events by Richmond Magazine, Pets on Parade hosts over 600 people and their furry family members. This is by far the most fun guests will have at a charity auction. Attendees will have enjoy delicious local cuisine from some of Richmond's best restaurants, signature cocktails, and a varied silent auction with something for everyone, and a spirited live auction at Fetch's biggest fundraiser of the year. Funds raised at Pets on Parade help support Fetch a Cure's mission to further pet cancer awareness, education, and treatment, and provide financial support for their ongoing programs, including Companions in Crisis Fund and Pixie's Pen Pals Rescue Program. Amazing cause, you guys, and it'll be delicious and fun, and you can bring your pets.
Yeah, it sounds like a great event. So what other events are happening? Or is
That's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah.
So are we moving next to the business of the week?
Business of the week.
All right, and this one sounds extra delicious. It's Redemption Barbecue.
Great.
You been there before?
I've been there.
Oh,
Really,
what's your
really,
favorite
really
thing to
good.
get?
The barbecue sandwich. It's
Okay.
amazing, hands down.
Coleslaw?
No, I'm not a coleslaw person on barbecue. I've never really
I
did
love
that.
coleslaw.
I like it in the sandwich, not on the side.
Yeah, I've never been not on top of the sandwich. I'm just plain. Just give me the barbecue and the bread,
All
the
right.
some sweet and spicy sauce,
Vinegar?
barbecue. No, I'm barbecue. I'm
Cool,
Memphis.
yes.
Okay, Memphis.
Sweet,
There
yeah,
goes.
Memphis
Yeah.
style. Like I love that thick barbecue sauce. That's what I do. Just give me the bread and the barbecue.
Yeah.
I love it. But Redemption, I recommend it. Hey, 10 out of 10. Go.
Yeah, so I was going to say that they were the South's best, one of the South's best new barbecue joints by Southern Living, and they actually ranked them 10 out of 22 on the Southern Living list that they have. And I found it interesting that it's Richmond's, well, they say that they're Richmond's best and most authentic Virginia style barbecue, and that kind of made me think, what is Virginia style barbecue? Because, you know, I don't really run into that very often. So,
Liz would know.
Yeah, so it's a style that uses whole hogs and has a vinegar-based sauce, and the focus is on the meat itself instead of relying on thick, smoky sauces. And if you ever go there, you can order the pulled pork shoulder, which is their signature Virginia Style BBQ dish. And they also have pork barbecue, barbecue chicken, brisket, burnt ends, and sandwiches, like you mentioned.
Yes.
And they also have a barbecue cheesesteak sandwich that
I want
sounds
mac and
delicious.
cheese.
I know that.
They do.
Do they have mac and cheese?
I would say so, since they're a barbecue joint.
So the band of the week, you guys, I saw them. Well, I'm just going to be frank with you. I saw them sober, so I know who they are now. I saw Audio Vault at JJ's Bar and Grill in Staples Mill. Oh my God, they were amazing. They were formed in 2014. They perform countless shows a year and usually book months in advance. Sorry, this is pulled from their website. Gaining quick notoriety as the band that puts on an arena rock performance wherever they go, including small venue places like JJ's or like other little places in
Another
Richmond.
round.
Yeah. But they're really good, like insane. I don't know how they're not superstars. They were in high demand from the beginning. They play at Uptown Alley, the Broadberry, the Beacon Theater, as well as private events, and they have like exclusive one-of-a-kind experiences. You can book them for your wedding and whatnot. They're amazing. What I loved about them is they play some of my favorites. I love Pink Floyd. That's my number one favorite band. They play Def Leppard, ZZ Top, and I don't know how they do it, but they make their voices sound just like this actual bands. Like they changed their style.
Their timbre, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. They're so good.
Yeah, that takes a lot of practice. Like you were saying that you did that for the Western. It's like you need to learn the dialects and like all kinds of stuff.
And I'm pretty sure they grew up on all of that. So that's just something that probably comes natural to them.
Yeah.
You listen to the bands. I know rappers that I used to rap about and I can rap their songs that sound like them. So I get it.
Yeah.
They're probably really awesome.
Yeah, they're wonderful and nice people. And they put on a good show no matter how small the crowd is, which I love. I love when people just are humble and they put on a show.
Yes, when you can have 5 people or 5,000, you better play like it's 5,000 regardless, or 5 million regardless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to shout outs.
Oh, yeah, we got a bunch. You want to go first or should I?
Sure, you can go first.
Okay, so first shout out to Roger Tyler. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so much fun to have you on.
Thank you. This is a really, really good podcast, and I hope y'all continue with success and the best as you can just keep going in this field, because podcasting is something that in Richmond we need people to know about people around here. So
exactly.
That's all. That's what we're all about.
You just literally just put me in a place to be known to your audience. So and then now I have my audience just looking at you. So it all is just a back and forth with Richmond artists. And
it's
I
all
appreciate
about community.
Y'all. Yes, anybody we appreciate you. Anybody that puts us on a pedestal to be like, hey, talk and tell us your life, and we're gonna put you out here.
Yeah,
it's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's what we're about.
Continue success, man.
We just love the Richmond community. We're very passionate about it, and it just puts a smile on my face to get to meet all these cool people and make friends.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out to Fetchicure, as always, Main Street Station, Rockbridge Beer and Wine Festival, Funhouse, Megadeth, Virginia Credit Union Live, and Audio Vault. Roger, please shout out like Black Liquid.
Yes, I shout out always to Black Lick. That's my brother. Telling y'all, check him out. Also check his death metal band out, Armageddon Time. Awesome group. If you love death metal, you'll love them. Shout outs to Patrick Mamou. That's also the website I was talking about earlier, watchmamou.com. That's his platform that shows a bunch of different films that we worked on and that others have worked on. WATCHMAMU.com. It's free to log in. It's a free little sign up thing, and you just watch a bunch of great films with people that are me and people that we worked with and we had a great time with. So shout out to him as well. Shout outs to everybody that is trying to just do better out here, because life can really take you down sometimes. it can hurt you, but you keep going, man. You wake up every day and you're like, you know what? Let's see what today brings. And you keep going. Regardless if today brings you the highest of highs or the lowest of lows, you keep going. So I want to shout out to everybody out there, especially during this weird season we're having. It's been a really
Amen to that.
Yeah, it's been a really weird, wonky season for everybody this past few months. So just shout outs to everybody that keeps going, man. Like, don't give up. I know I talked about my cousin and everything. Y'all just please don't give up.
That's a good message.
There's a hotline out there, the suicide
Matt and I
prevention
both
hotline.
are listening because we've had a rough one.
Yeah.
Yes, the suicide prevention hotline for anybody. Just please, man. If you need somebody, call somebody.
Yeah.
There's always somebody for somebody.
And I can't emphasize that enough. Like, you know, even if you're like in the darkest place, you know, there's always, you can always get better. You can always step out of that dark place.
Yes.
And that's when you lean on your loved ones. That's the time. That's what they're there for. And that's what you're there for when it's their time to be in a sad phase of life.
Yes.
It's really important to lean on your friends and your family. And if you don't have friends and family, thank God the internet exists.
Yes.
Because you can find friends and family.
You know, like a support group or
If you're a gamer, you got people on games. You can find friends through there. I know millions of people out here that have best friends they've never met, and they've been playing games with them for 20 years.
And you can always reach out to the Lala podcast. We're here. We'll be your friend. If you don't have anyone, just message our Instagram. We're here for you.
Yes, and
That's
you can
right.
hit me up too if y'all need any questions or anything, or just want to just talk, man, because you feel bad. You can hit me up on all my social media. Everything's actor Roger Tyler. So.
And we were just about to ask, how can we support you?
Oh, well, you can always share content. Just keep up with everything going on. Again, where to find me is actor Roger Tyler on literally everything from Facebook, Instagram. I don't have a TikTok. There's something that I don't know. I'm kind of those ones that's on the fence. Like, I don't want it. I don't want it because I already have Snapchat and all this other
It's too
stuff.
much.
I don't have
It's too
TikTok.
much.
There's so much to deal with. So everything else is actor Roger Tyler. You can find me on Google. Just Google my name, Roger Tyler, actor, and I will pop up and I'm right there. So, and if y'all need to hit me up, I'm here.
Cool. And Matt, shout outs.
Yeah, so I'm going to shout out all the local distilleries, Cirrus, Reservoir, Belle Isle, Virago, and Trial and Error. And recently I found out that Steamboat Brewery, they have since closed. And I was going to say,
Damn.
yeah, thanks for all the memories. And
Even though they weren't so great. I'm just kidding.
so I was in Shake It Up and we played on stage there. It was a
I was there.
Cars tribute band. Yeah, you did the
that's
videography.
sad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You run a Cars tribute band?
Yes.
That's so dope.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Shake it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing about the Cars is that you realize you don't have, they have all these songs like, oh yeah, that's the Cars, and you've
Never knew it.
yeah, and it just never knew it. So yeah, those are my shout outs.
Cool. You guys, thank you so much. And remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website. We have TikTok, but we never post. But just follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lala in the Dungeon. And follow our website, I guess. Don't follow it, but just check in at olalarva.net.
Yeah, and so wanted to give a preview of the next episodes. So we're gonna have a pro wrestler.
Oh yeah, so we are interviewing, this is gonna be fucking amazing, you guys. We're interviewing Richmond Pro Wrestling. How cool is that we have that in Richmond?
I have some friends in there, so shout out
No
to all of them.
way!
Yeah, I have a lot
Cool.
of friends. Yeah, shout out to them.
So I am looking forward to that
Me
episode.
too.
I'm gonna come up with some good questions.
I'm gonna dress up as a wrestler, so
You should.
stay tuned.
Like a Mexican wrestler.
Like Nacho Libre.
Yeah, Nacho Libre. All right, guys. I think that's a wrap. And thanks for listening. And
Thanks, Roger.
No
yeah,
problem.
thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Bye, Liz. I love you.
All right, goodbye, guys.
Bye.